Hi everyone, this is Jamie. I got a ring light, so everything feels new, everything feels foreign. And today I'm going to be talking about homophobia, specifically within us and how it goes through us through our entire lives. So I want to talk literally about ingrained homophobia, specifically towards gay men. So we kind of grow up already with our parents throwing slurs, with people throwing slurs around gay men, specifically when it comes to not just bottoms or tops, but specifically when men act a certain way which society thinks that is wrong or whatever. They tend to think that, well, there's something wrong with them, and because of that, slurs get thrown, and we learn certain slurs. So as we start growing up, we already get things like, oh, why are you interested in that other guy? Like, are you gay? Are you certain slur? And then it starts sort of like compiling after one another, where one guy calls another guy, or a girl calls a guy, or a guy calls a girl. But today I'm going to be talking specifically about the gay man experience. So it already starts dehumanizing from parents, because that's what their parents did. That's what happens. That's pretty much, if you go history, you can blame religion, you can blame society, you can blame anyone you want, but it's what we are dealt with. It's what we have to do. It's what the world we're born into, right? And I'm not saying it's a good thing, obviously, because I'm here venting about it. So I wanted to say, for instance, and such things keep going throughout our lives. And right now, we're in an interesting place in history where drag queens are more accepted. Certain things are more accepted because it seems like it's okay to do certain like feminine things, but it's only accepted if you say, yeah, I am a feminine guy, or yeah, I do drag. This is my persona. I am feminine. But when it comes to being a guy who just enjoys these things, you still need to label certain things in order for society to accept you. Otherwise, you will be called a slur. So in this case, I wanted to emphasize that, for instance, if you wear makeup, and it's not in a drag way, you're instantly seen as gay, and it's instantly seen as something negative. So there is a need, for instance, to be men in makeup, to be a feminine guy. And in my case, I don't exactly identify with anything feminine because I'm a trans guy, and I, on the opposite, feel like this is boxing me. And I never felt anything feminine about my makeup. And even though I've dabbled with drag in the past, I've dabbled with cross dressing. It's not a culture I feel connected with, and many guys also do not feel connected with it either, because we still identify as men. We still are men, regardless of our hobbies and etc. So why can a woman wear jeans, which was deemed controversial, or a suit back in the day, and it was seen, and of course it was revolutionary at the time, but like Marlene Dietrich walking the streets in a tuxedo, or flirting with women, and yes, of course, Marlene Dietrich was bisexual, but I'm just trying to take the point of the suit. So right now we have women which wear jeans more freely, which wear suits more freely. That we have the woman's suit, we have different cuts for women, but we still are missing skirts for men. We still are missing dresses for men, and people still make a big deal out of it. If you look, for instance, at Harry Styles's Vogue cover, it was for Vogue US specifically, and it caused everyone to be an uproar, to everyone to be in an uproar, to be like, oh yeah, bring back manly men and stuff like that. And in general, it feels like this is like a caricature. Like, what is a manly man? If you're a guy, you identify as such. why is there a certain need to do certain things which other people say you must do? And when we're looking at that aspect, I also wanted to bring out, I talk about this very often, but it still remains a point that there's a massive sort of division in the trans community, where I was reading a post the other day where, for example, where a binary trans man was saying, well, I don't feel like comfortable with certain things. I'm sorry, my ring light went out because I am new to this. I swear. Anyway, so I wanted to say that, and then he proceeded to misgender the individual who he saw because he deemed that this certain individual was not worthy of his respect to be called properly. So he proceeded to misgender the person who I still don't know what their pronouns are. So I'm using they in this situation because I have no idea which pronouns to use, and I'm using neutral pronouns for now. And in general, there shouldn't be any reason for anyone to misgender anyone, but here we are, you know. Here I am talking about this. And people deem that, for instance, if you don't fall into the category of a manly man, you don't deserve respect. Or if you're non-binary, you don't deem respect. Or if you're non-binary and you see other like manly men or whatever they want to call themselves, they don't deem respect. So at this point, it's like a war between respects, where everyone feels as if, yeah, I don't like the way you're dressing with that suit. I don't like you with the cargo pants. I don't like you with the dress. So I'm gonna misgender you. I'm gonna use everything in my power to make you feel uncomfortable. And it's not just in the trans community. I wanted to emphasize, for instance, there was a situation, for instance, there was a show called Looking, which I really, really enjoyed. And yes, it had it, obviously, its learning curve. It had the character growing, which was a good thing. But they had an actor called Russell Tovey. I'm really sorry if I'm butchering his name. It's just that I'm not a fan of him, and I literally was trying to think of examples, and I remembered his existence, which really spites me. And I remember, and I came across an interview of his a few days ago as well, and he was saying that he has never experienced homophobia. And I was like, what? What? And that is such a privileged example, because I remember reading an interview of his, which he was saying that his dad was the one who told him, like, you have to be a manly man, and you have to not enjoy musicals, you can't dress up like a fairy, and stuff like that. And he actually said that he's thankful to his dad while the show was going on, that he conditioned him into not being a fairy. And he went under big fire. And this was all in parallel while Looking was getting fire for not being inclusive enough race-wise. And I remember that everyone was like, oh, it's okay, he's so cute, he whatever, I love him, he's so buff and good looking. He really looks like a knee, to be honest, but you know, that's just me. And obviously I felt even more revolted by his remarks. So there's nothing attractive in him. And I know that he's doing a career now and everything, and I still have like this spite towards him, which will remain forever, knowing myself. But moving onwards. So the show got cancelled. He made those remarks, and now he's saying, oh, I never experienced homophobia, so I'm really privileged. And I'm like, your dad literally told you can't be a fairy. So yeah, and people tend to forget such things. History gets erased, and in general, if we talk about a gay history, like we've had, like I remember growing up, and everyone would wear the pink triangles. Like when I'd look at the pride marches and etc., and people would wear them to symbolize the fact that gay people were killed during the Holocaust, and they weren't. The point was that after the Holocaust and after they were freed, they were still not able to be free citizens. They still had to serve their sentence. They were still tossed in prisons and etc. But this isn't right now a history video, so. And such symbols also get erased. So it gets really annoying where history gets rewritten, and we still have certain things like the ingrained homophobia from our childhood. So we still grow up with, oh, you can't do that if people think you're gay, you can't do that, people think you're a fairy, and stuff like that, and even worse slurs. If I'm offending anyone with the word fairy, I'm really sorry. It's just that I use it towards myself, and I never found it offensive per se, and I was around people who would use it very frequently and very also towards themselves, and it was a reclaimed slur, so I'm really sorry if I'm offending anyone. I didn't mean that in that way. Right. So I wanted to say, because of that, people tend to distance themselves from certain like things, and like I said, we tend to find different excuses or anything which will allow us to be ourselves in order to, for instance, like saying drag, oh, that's just my feminine side, because female feminine things are more accepted these days. So we kind of cover ourselves up in those things. So by the end of the day, we become our own bullies, is what I'm trying to say. And it shouldn't be that way. It really shouldn't be that way. And yeah, I kind of rushed for this video, so yeah. I really just wanted to say that we become our own bullies, and internalized homophobia is real. And if you feel comfortable by saying certain things are feminine and you identify with such things, and you identify with the adjective feminine or femininity, please go ahead. There's nothing wrong with it. But you shouldn't go around calling out people like, oh yeah, you're being feminine for wearing makeup and that's rad. You should just say, like, you look great, and that's it. That's it. And I think the world would be a bit of a better place without dysphoria in that case. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. I'm really sorry about my ring light. I'm still new to this, and I'm a massive nervous wreck. Thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions, please submit them below. Please like, please subscribe. Thank you.